right, and then I'll go grab this, and this, and all right. So we rejoin Rysette deep in the bowels of the Nether Sea, where I guess you're still waiting in line in the queue to be processed into the underworld. It feels like it's been couple of days, maybe even a couple of weeks. It's really hard to tell. You don't feel hungry, and you don't feel tired. You're just sort of there, in line, waiting. I guess I could go ahead and put you back in the queue here. So, the question here is then, what now? Like, what are you going to do?
Well, I guess for the most part, if we're waiting in line, I know there's the old guy that was standing in front of me.
Right.
I mean, so there's we don't have any of our items or anything with us, right?
Nope. You are wearing a simple toga. That is it. Just a simple wrap of white linen.
Okay. I think what Rysette would do with the old guy is she's going to do, you know what those like super high level chess players do? They play chess in their heads.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they're like knight to e5 and then they just remember the game. She's just gonna try doing that with the old guy.
Okay.
So mind 20 squares.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, you play mine 20 squares with your neighbors in line, and that does go a long way towards helping to pass the time, such as it was. Slowly but surely making your way along and through the line. Looking back, it looks like an endless line has formed behind you, and looking ahead, it feels like no matter how many steps you take, the ferry continues to be the same distance away. You still are lacking the 2 silver lepta that are going to be needed to pay your passage on the ferry.
Is everyone here like they look Thylean?
Yes. They either look Thylean or they look Thylean adjacent, which is to say maybe people who were washed up in this region. There are all manner of races here, though you don't really see too many nymphs or other fey creatures. You do see centaurs, you see lots of humans and human-adjacent specters, but you don't see any... you don't see like a dryad or anything else like that, at least not in your portion of the line. Fey creatures, of course, are immortal and generally live quite a while. They can be killed because they're not undying, but they do have exceptionally long lifespans and are relatively good at staying alive for a long time. You do notice in your many ghost matches of 20 squares that your neighbors are in possession of silver lepta with which to pay the ferryman.
Oh, okay.
Once you guys are comfortable enough with it, you feel that you could play a real game.
Yeah, before that, do I have my my amulet?
The amulet given to you by your grandmother that possesses her spirit. At first you do not, but the longer you're in the Nether Sea and the more you think about it and want for it, you see it's kind of like the reverse of like Marty McFly's family photo in Back to the Future. Like at first it has sort of a ghostly outline of the amulet, and then as the days progress, it starts to solidify for you.
Oh. Okay. When it does show up, she's going to open it and see if she can get any contact.
Okay. As you open it, you see the face of your grandmother painted on the interior, and the painting begins to move. The eyes sort of open wide and look around, and the amulet, or the painting in the amulet, says, Rysette, what have you done? This is the Nether Sea. I took a little bit of time off, but how much did I miss? Have you defeated Lutheria already?
No, I've just been playing 20 squares for the
Wait
past
a
few
minute.
days.
And you see the painting, like Harry Potter animated painting style, kind of looks like out of frame, like left and right. Did you die again?
Maybe.
I told you, girl, I did not have the power to bring you back a second time. How could you be so sloppy?
I mean, I didn't really have much I could do.
Oh, you didn't have much you could do. You are blessed with gifts. You live beneath a mountain of talent and skill, a bloodline unsurpassed by any other, and you complain that you had no options? You had nothing you could have done?
Oh, well, I spun the wheel, and it was a Geigen of fate.
That handsome bastard son of Pythor spun the wheel. He turned out great.
Oh, he was a little luckier than I was.
So you're telling me that an assassin sent by fate was something that you, Rysette of Aresia, my granddaughter, inheritor of my prestigious lineage, could not handle?
Well, you say that, but I don't even know what I've inherited.
You've inherited power like none before. That's what you've inherited.
All the power that I've had is the power that I've learned from the Aresians.
So you're
How
long have you... Oh, psh, those Aresians, they don't know anything. How long have you been in line?
Oh, I don't know, maybe
You don't know?
20, 30 games?
30 games? You've been playing games in line? You haven't been looking for a way out?
Where am I supposed to go?
You could be here forever. This line is as a trap. Do you desire something, Rysette? Is your will stronger than anyone else's?
Well, I was waiting for my friends to
Waiting for
me.
your friends? First of all, you don't have any friends, Rysette. You have followers who do as they're told. Do you think that any of those bumbling idiots are really your friends? Do you hear how they talk about you? They call you the Aresian. You are always an outsider to them. You are always different. And do you know what's different about you? You're better than they are, and they can tell.
Well, not at everything.
Rysette,
not anymore.
If you wait here for those bumblers, you'll be here forever. You have to find a way out on your own. Besides, if you let them save you, then you owe them. You don't want to be beholden to those fools. They have all sorts of problems that are going to drag them down and drag you down with them. A powerful woman, a woman who makes change in the world, is not beholden to anyone.
Okay, then where should I go?
Well, obviously we need to speak to upper management. You haven't slain Lutheria yet, so let's just go talk to her. Let's get this sorted out.
All right. I guess I'll start looking around to see if I see anyone that looks like they're managing the line.
Looking around, you don't see anyone managing the line per se. You do recall several days ago, somebody did try to cut in line, and these horrible bug creatures showed up and basically devoured their soul.
Okay. I'm going to look at the person behind me
Mm-hmm.
and ask, would would you like to take my spot? You look like you're a little tired.
Oh, really? Uh, you don't mind if I move ahead? You sure?
Well, what kind of person is this first?
This is Panos, who you have played many games of 20 Squares with.
Is he an asshole?
He is a poor sport, to be sure.
But that means I've been beating him.
Mhm.
Okay. What about the guy behind him?
Okay. The person behind him is Nefeli. Nefeli has proven to be a powerful opponent.
Okay. Nefeli. Actually, Nefeli.
Hmm?
It seems who's the guy in front of me then?
That is Laridi.
I think Laridi would like to play a game with you. Would you like to take my spot?
They look left, they look right. If you don't mind.
Well, we're all friends here.
And Panos says, "Now hold on. You offered me the chance to cut. You cannot give this gift away to someone else."
Well, perhaps you should play for it. You and Natalie.
Alright, Nefeli and Panos square up.
Yeah. So thus starts my, I guess, 3 hours of planning.
Okay. Nefeli, good showing. And let's see. Okay. Panos takes the first round. Lose. Second round. Lose. And third round. So it was a close match, but Nefeli does win. Panos sighs, and Nefeli proudly gets out of line to move ahead of you. As she does, there is a bamf as 3 hideous bug creatures appear. Nefeli cries out in terror, and the beasts begin to approach, rolling their initiative dice.
What's going on here?
This one turns to you and says, "This Malakas. She is cut out of line. She must face the penalty. Patience is a virtue. If you do not have the patience, you will never enter the underworld."
But we were simply playing a game. She did not mean to do such a thing. You will go back to where you were, will you not, Nefeli?
Nefeli looks terrified and says, yes, of course. Please, have mercy."
We're very sorry.
Hey, I know you. You're the monk who got stuck in the man's butt.
Yeah, I guess.
That was a funny song.
You've heard of me, then?
It has been long and longer still since we heard of your great exploits, Rysette of Aresia. How is it you came to be here?
Well, I'm actually looking for upper management.
Upper management?
Yeah. Do you happen to know where I could go to talk to someone of that status?
Hold on. and they form a little like cockroach huddle and begin whispering to themselves. They don't really whisper because they're Yogoloths and they have telepathy, but okay. This one comes back and says, "We will return. Wait here." And then they bamf out.
I'm gonna apologize to Nephalia and Panos for the suggestion.
Yeah, Panos says, I have been in line so long. I did not think. Oh, every minute that passes, I feel that I lose more and more of who I am and what I know.
I think that is what they're trying to do to us here.
All right.
They're trying to break us.
And then the line slowly advances just a little bit more, but somehow still feels like you're in the same exact place. Up ahead, you see this guy taking that sweet lepta, ushering people onto his barge. All right. Time passes, and this guy returns. Says, Rysette of Aresia, I have asked, and you have been granted permission. You may skip the line. And it holds out its three-fingered bug-like hand, and there are two shiny lepta in it. These lepta do not look like the standard currency of Mitros or Aresia. On one side, they have the face of Lutheria, and on the other, they have a swirling vortex of death.
Okay. You won't be stealing my soul, will you?
Of course not.
Okay.
I would never steal from the lady.
I'll grab the lepta and follow him.
Okay.
It's paused.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so he kind of leads you ahead. All of the ghosts look on enviously as you leave, especially your three line friends. You know how it be at conventions. Leads you to the front of the line and says, Here, this will take you deeper into the Nether Sea.
This boat here?
Yes. And this guy just kind of stands there, all like 10 feet of him, and hunchback, he leans out with a claw-like hand and motions for the coins.
I'll give him the coins.
Okay. He then motions to the barge. This Yogoloth says, Heron, go now. Do not wait for the boat to be full. This is an order from the lady. And Charon kind of nods and begins to pull his boat out into the Nether Sea. The water here is a luminous, swirling blue. You can see actual, like, souls floating around inside of it. Off in the distance, you see something massive and undead break the surface with a large fin-like tail and then smash it back down and go beneath. It is an undead whale. Looking around, you see that there are a great many islands, some of which are in the water, some of which float above the water. Looking up to the ceiling as you leave this narrow cavern that you were in, you see that the Nether Sea is all subterranean. Looking up, you see that there is a stone ceiling. It is broken in some places. Through those cracks in the ceiling, you see the swirl of the Nyx. Basically the outer space area that you guys fought Esther in when you were trying to win back the Ultros. All right. He continues to pole his boat, and it sort of makes its way along and through. You sit on an uncomfortable wooden bench next to other souls who have been processed. They look
Yeah, I guess
forlornly out at the surroundings.
I'll tell Grandma that I'm on the boat now.
Okay. She says, "The boat? They're making you ride on the boat?"
Yeah, they're taking me to Lutheria.
This is absolutely ridiculous. They should just teleport you there or fly you to make you ride on the boat like some commoner, like some pedestrian soul. Ooh, it just makes my blood boil.
You keep saying that I'm not a commoner, but I don't know anything. Like, what is...
Rysette, you're coming across as very needy right now. Just, you'll know when you know. The important thing is that you succeed without knowing. You should not be so full of... what's the word I'm looking for? Hubris. Do you understand? If you knew of your true origins, then you would inevitably be consumed by that knowledge. Suffice to say, you are great, and that is all you need to know for now.
Well, I don't feel very great.
Well, I don't know. What can I do to cheer you up?
Well, have you been here before?
Been where?
Here. Doing
Ah,
this.
oh, well, yeah, I mean, you live long enough, you're bound to die. I mean, that's just natural.
And Lutheria just let you go?
I mean, in a way, I suppose you could say she did.
And yet, your anger, it's towards Sidon and not Lutheria?
Well, yes, I mean, look, we women have to stick together, you know? Like, when men come and complicate things.
I've always just assumed that they were similar. No, you hate one, you hate both.
At one time, perhaps, but um, she and I have an arrangement. Now, you and her don't have an arrangement, but perhaps you will have an arrangement. The important thing is that you get back on task, yes?
I would love to.
Okay. The boat eventually stops by the ruins of what you imagine was once a great gymnasium or bathhouse. One of the souls on the boat stands up, and Charon waggles a finger at them, and they sit back down. He then extends that long pointy finger to you, Rysette, and then motions to get off the boat.
Okay. I'll get off.
Okay. You stand on the black sandy shores of this small island. There are ruins up ahead of you. You hear the sound of running water.
Yeah, I'll move towards the ruins.
Okay. All right. As you pass into the ruins, you see that this is, or was, or maybe both, a fantastic series of baths or hot springs. I'll take you over to them. They seem to be empty, except far ahead, you see a huge woman with antler horns, blonde hair, and ashen skin. She is bathing in the largest of the springs. She is nude. There are nightshade flowers growing from her horns and hair, and tangling in the mane of blonde hair that runs down her back. Floating nearby is a crystalline scythe. That seems to be her only attendant.
Okay. I'll make my way towards her.
Okay. As you approach, the woman turns, looks over at her shoulder at you, and says, "Ah, there you are. It's so lovely when family comes to visit."
I'm not your family.
She lets out one of her maddening laughs. We'll play a bad day laugh just to remember what that bad day laugh sounds like. Here we go. But we won't spam it too much. She sees you approach, and lets out that maddening laugh when you say you are not family, and says, "And what makes you so sure?"
Well, no, you're right. I guess I don't really know much about who I am. But I don't think I'm family.
Have you not heard of mine and mine brother's appetites? They are said to put even Pythor to shame.
Well, that's a lot then.
She kind of wades up to the edge of the pool and just sort of like resting heavy bosoms on the stone, kind of elbows to either side, hands on chin, looks down at you. As you kind of climb the stones to stand next to her, it is a strange sight. She is towering, at least 18 feet tall. So even standing here on the stones, you are now almost eye to eye with her. The third eye on her forehead has taken in your measure from top to bottom, and now darts around incessantly, as if watching for anything new. Her more human eyes stay firmly focused on you.
I think this would be the first time I see her in full size.
She was mostly full size at the games, but was a bit smaller than she is now. And then at the party, she assumed like a 6 foot tall lady stance, I believe, like a more medium sized creature. But here, yeah, she's like a full 18 feet tall.
I think some of your people came for me a few days ago. I did not realize that was what they were there for.
She laughs again and says, "Oh, yes. I had extended an invitation to dine with me on my barge, the Hypnos, but you, I won't say rudely, as I don't think that in that instance you were being rude so much as completely ignorant. Let the offer slip past you. But I am delighted to know you finally wised up."
Well, one could only take so many Even I can't play 20 squares for that long.
Yes. The game of the gods. A nasty little thing, isn't it?
It is.
But hard to quit.
Certainly.
So, Rysette of Aresia. So. I understand that you had a run-in with the hero of the Fates.
Yes.
Those women, they are tiresome. So deep in my brother's pockets. It's fine. It keeps them busy and distracted.
And you do not deal with the fates?
Well, I mean, we all deal with the Fates, but I try not to deal with them directly when I can. The red eye kind of narrows on your amulet, pivoting and then kind of narrowing. And you see Lutheria's face kind of grow a bit stern. She says, "How did that get here?"
It appeared just after a few days.
Uh-huh. If I didn't know any better, I would say that's the soul of Katya.
It seems she knows you, and you know her.
Well, how do I put this, delicately? She and my brother used to fuck.
Oh.
But she,
Oh.
as the small folk would say, fucked around and found out.
Found out.
Sidon likes his diversions, but for all his talk of respecting strength and perseverance and initiative, it's something he doesn't like to see in his concubines. You feel a burning heat from the amulet as she says that. And she lets out another peal of laughter. Oh, Katya. Did you ever think you were more than that? Oh! Well, she hasn't told you. She hasn't told you anything. Oh my. Oh my. I understand that secrets have value, but I feel the experience of spoiling this would be worth the price. Would you like to know, Rysette? Would you like to know? Because I would love to tell you.
But what do you need in exchange?
Oh, for this, the look on your face, knowing that Katya was unable to control this information. Well, that is enough for me. For this.
Rosette is going to, I guess, close the amulet.
As you close it, you hear a cry from your grandmother. Just a long, strangled no. Don't. And then you close the amulet.
And I guess if she can sit on one of these rocks.
Yeah, please, make yourself comfortable. If you would like, I have no qualms about sharing a bath with you. You reek of death.
It has been a few days. Yeah, she'll get into the water.
Okay. You realize that if you were not dead, this water would be fucking you up real bad.
She's glad that she's dead.
Okay. There's a whole table I'd have to roll on if you were not dead. Lutheria motions to the water, and you see that it is cascading hundreds of feet from a crack in the ceiling up above. Around the crack, you see the swirling Nyx. And she says, "This is the freshest water in the Nether Sea. Uncorrupted, except by my own touch. You are protected by it, for you are one of mine now. A proud citizen of my kingdom. Bathe, drink, and refresh, Rysette. And learn who you are."
Yeah, she's gonna just relax and just stare at her.
Okay. As the heat of the spring and the fumes of the water kind of rise up into your nostrils, you start to have visions. You see a great nymph sorceress of unmatched skill and beauty and talent. You recognize this creature as Katya. In her prime, undisguised, her full beauty and power on display. You see her slaying her enemies, bamboozling her enemies, enslaving her enemies, and generally being a total bad bitch. You see her meeting the Dragonlords and fighting alongside them. You see the fall of Xander because Katya is standing with his assassins. The brothers Archelander. You see the war that comes, the bloodshed, the horror. You watch the hardening of the hearts of the Order of the Dragonlords following the death of Xander. Or sorry, of Astreus. Xander is driven only by a sense of revenge, a sense of hatred for those who have taken what he loved. The brothers Archelander and Katya continue to whisper lies into the ears of the Dragonlords, into Xander, who takes the title of first for himself. The battles fought are fierce. The change brought to the continent significant. The wealth and power acquired by Katya insurmountable. In the end, Esther leads a battle against Sidon, sailing in his great ship, a ship that your grandmother helped design, right up to his tower. A battle is fought, but it is a battle even Katya did not see. In the end, only Daemon returned, with the remains of many of the dead Dragonlords, and the Pact of Peace, an oath sworn by the Titans and the gods. In the years that followed, Katya did what she could to remain powerful and influential. But without the prominent Dragonlords of old, she began to fall out of the public interest, fall out of favor, fall out of power. Ever hungry for notoriety, for fame, for wealth, for power, she crossed over to the other side of the fence. She offered her knowledges and her gifts to the Titans, trading with them the many secrets she had of the Dragonlord's order. In time, she caught Sidon's eye and he hers, and a romance began. In secret at first, and then blatantly in the open. Lutheria, who seemed at that point to have lost interest in her brother husband, did not act upon any sort of petty vengeance. But Katya sought more. She sought ever greater power. When she discovered she was with child, she confronted Sidon and demanded he make her his queen. This demand brought forth great laughter from Sidon, who cast her out, exiled her, and told all who followed him, all who were loyal, that if she was seen again, to kill her. In hiding, she brought the pregnancy to term, left the baby with some mortals who were indebted to her from some acts of charity in the past, and went to confront Sidon. It was a powerful battle of spells, magic, but in the end, she lost. Sidon slew her. When her soul was sent to the underworld, Lutheria was waiting. They sat down together and enjoyed wine and cheese and rare fruits. They commiserated, and a deal was struck. A promise was made. And her soul was given leave from the Nether Sea. But Lutheria, always cruel, especially when it comes to deals, promised her no body to return to. And so her soul was freed from the underworld, but trapped in a small bit of jewelry, where it waited, simmering in its rage and impotence. The Lich Daemon discovered the amulet and kept it in his personal collection, until the time came when he felt the weave of fate begin to shift and change. A prophecy was spoken, and he knew that the sorceress Katya once again had a purpose. With a shudder, you kind of open your eyes, and you see Lutheria sort of just floating in the water, and she looks over at you, smiling, all three of her eyes upon you.
So I guess family is right.
I suppose it is. I guess you're like my niece or something. Stepdaughter, niece.
I guess I'll look at the amulet and open it.
Okay. You see that the painting is empty.
So she's not my grandmother.
Oh no, she is. The baby that was born knew nothing of their past and fell for I don't know, some man from Canadonia, something like that. And then the baby was left in the care of the Aresian monks. That baby is you. So I guess you're my great-niece? Step-granddaughter? I never fancied myself a gilf, but... I mean...
Well, I'm sure many people see you that way.
I certainly hope not. But as long as they see me respectfully, I suppose that's all that matters. And she lets out a long peal of laughter. So there you have it, grandchild of Sidon, Titan-blooded. I know it's a lot, isn't it? Your face, your reaction. Oh, it's so wonderful.
Well, it's good to know where I come from now. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, what was this promise you made with her?
Oh, that. Well, many people don't know this. But my brother and I, we had a bit of a falling out. He used to be such a good boy and do whatever I said. Now, he has all these, and she makes a pouty face, ideas of his own. He just doesn't listen to me anymore. He's so wrapped up in revenge. And revenge is so small, so pointless. He's so obsessed with taking back our mother's lands. He doesn't stop to ask if our mother even wants them anymore. He is a simpleton, a fool. He always has been. That's what made him so appealing. But now, well, now he's just a warmonger. And what does war do anyways, besides make more work for me? I mean, everything dies. I'll have it all eventually. But war, there's so much paperwork. There's so much processing that must be done. It's very selfish, honestly. If he wanted to take the mainland back for himself, he should have just listened to my advice and continued to manipulate that foolish king. I did everything I could to bring Mitros to its knees before a war was ever needed. But he wants his war, you see, even if it's one-sided. His vengeance is a thirst that can only be slaked in blood. So the deal I made with your sweet grandma was vengeance, I suppose. I told her that the eternal torments I had planned for her, torments so vile and so terrible as to make even my own flesh crawl when I think about them, could be avoided if she killed Sidon. But I didn't want to make it easy on her, you see. So she's been trapped in that little locket ever since. And she lets out a horrible peal of malicious laughter. And you came along, defier of fate, the anomalies. And with you, the whole game changes. She senses that, you see. She seeks to weaponize you. I'm surprised she hasn't just taken your body outright. Perhaps she's conditioning it, having you put in all the work until it's the perfect specimen, and then she'll just slip inside.
I will kill Sidon, but I will not let her take my body.
Well, there's no body to take now, is there? It's a broken pile of bones and skin stuffed into a sack. Oh yes, your allies didn't even give you a burial. They simply folded you up like linen and tucked you away. They wouldn't have to look at you anymore. They've already replaced you, in fact, with some sort of lizard.
Replaced me.
And with a wave of her hand, you see this illusionary creature appear. It tells some kind of funny joke, and you hear the laughter of all of your so-called friends. And Lutheria just looks so sad as she stares at it. To be replaced so quickly by something so peculiar.
I see. That explains why I'm still here.
I, myself, have waited for the call. They never even asked me if they could have you back. I will admit I am surprised. I thought after Acastus's party that we would get along rather well. I did give you back that Corinna girl, after all. I thought that was a show of good faith and friendship. But I guess I'll never understand heroes.
Is there anything I can do?
Well, you say you wish to kill Sidon, but even your great and powerful grandmother was unable to do so. His strength is mighty, his prowess in battle nearly unmatched. Some say that he is fated to rule. He is destined for greatness. Fortunately, the weave has a tangle in it. You and your allies were never supposed to be or be here. And her eyes scrunch up into like little chibi smiley eyes, except for the center one that kind of bulges and stares at you. And she gets like a little fox smile, and she says, "You are cheaters."
Perhaps that is what we need.
To win a game that is rigged? Absolutely. Absolutely. When my brother cozened in the fates, he wove for himself a destiny of greatness that none could stop. He never wanted to leave things up to chance again after what happened. And everything seems to be going his way. Even I march to the beat of his drum, at least publicly. But you and yours don't, and never will. What I need from you is a friend. I need someone who can convince the Cheaters Club that I'm with you, not against you. I may have unusual tastes. I may dabble in the darker elements of the universe. But I need you to make them understand that when it comes to the destruction of Sidon, we see eye to eye to eye.
Okay.
You are endorsed by Astraeus, who I had worked so hard on to sway to my way of thinking. I had almost convinced him, which is more than likely why the fates yanked him away. But he endorses you. You are the leader of the new Dragonlords.
Okay. I would like to make an insight check.
Sure.
Let's see. I just want to see how she feels about it. Or how Rysette feels.
Okay. Rysette. This woman, while creepy AF, really wants to kill her husband brother. And really believes that you and your allies are how that can happen.
Okay. She's going to put the amulet away. And I guess she'll stand up. And say, If a friend is what you need, I can give that to you.
Well, I will of course reciprocate, for I don't want our friendship to be one-sided.
Thank you.
What is it you would need from me, Rysette of Aresia?
I know now that Titan blood runs within my veins. That my grandma was powerful. But I, as you can see, I am still too weak to confront Sidon.
Ever have you and yours begun to walk in my shadow? I feel your fear of death. Perhaps I could free you of that fear.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm the one who signs all the paperwork down here. It would be relatively easy to just sort of hand wave it all away. I'm talking about becoming an undying champion, Rysette.
What will this change?
Immortality changes much and more about an individual. Some thrive in it. Some are driven mad. Some thrive in their madness.
If this is what I need to bring peace back to Thylea, to defeat Sidon, then I will take it.
She smiles broadly and says, as long as I live, so shall you, Rysette of Aresia, my champion. She kind of languidly slides towards you in the water and says, now we should sanctify our friendship in the oldest fashion. It is my way.
I think Rysette is going to let her.
Okay. It's Age of Greece. I'm gonna hook it up with your step grandma slash great aunt. That's not weird or anything. All right. The camera pans away from the two of you as she begins to shrink in size and then embrace you in a passionate kiss. The camera pans up to the waterfall behind the two of you, and time passes. All right. And that's where we'll leave it hanging.
Okay.
For now. All right.